Hello students, let's continue with our lessons. Today our lesson is a grammar lesson. We are going to discuss auxiliary verbs. In general, these are the main auxiliary verbs in English. Verb to be, am, is, are, am, was, were, being, been. Do, does, did. Have, you have, has, have, had, having. And also the modal auxiliary can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, would, and we have others also. An auxiliary verb or a helping verb, as we used to call it in the previous curriculum, comes with a main verb. There is no auxiliary verb without main verb. Sometimes you find is, are, am, was, were in a sentence without main verb. It comes alone. So it will not be an auxiliary verb, it will be main verb. The same with has, have, had. The same with has, have, had. Without a helping verb, it will be what? Main verb. You say, I have a car. I have a car, have here is a main verb. When you say, I have bought a car, have here is an auxiliary verb. Is, are, am, the same idea. Huh? We say, he is a man. Is here is a main verb. But when you say he is playing football, is here is an auxiliary verb. Also with do, does, did, the same. You can say he did his homework. He did his homework. Did here is main verb, not auxiliary verb. But when you say he didn't do his homework, didn't here, did is an auxiliary verb. But for modals, the modals are always auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. Remember that. Why? Because they only come with main verb. They don't come alone. You can't say I can write. I can I can write here, can helping verb, write main verb. You can't say I can book. You can say I can read a book. So here can is what? Is an auxiliary verb. Remember that. This is an introduction before we begin in our lesson. But of course, auxiliary verbs usually used in turn to page 8. Turn to page 8, your box page 8. Auxiliary verbs come in a question, are used in questions like this. Auxiliary verbs are used with negatives like this. Auxiliary verbs are used with past perfect or present perfect, etc. You see, auxiliary verbs are used in progressive, affirmative, and negative. You see? So, a lot of usage or uses, a lot of uses are there for auxiliary verbs. Remember, if you have an auxiliary verb, you can put not. You can make the question. For example, you say she is answering her call. You say she is not answering her call. Directly you put not. طبعا remember is, are, am, either they are auxiliary verbs or main verbs. You can use them as auxiliary verbs. But for has, have, had, or do, does, did, no, you can't use them. You must use does, do, and did in order to make the question. Remember that. Our lesson here is not new. We have taken it before, but this is in general. Let's see. While practicing, I'll teach you more. Look here. This is the first exercise. Circle the auxiliary verb in each sentence. Where is the auxiliary verb? Remember, auxiliary verb means that you have main verb. Without main verb, it is not auxiliary verb. Here, we are downloading an antivirus right now. Where is the auxiliary verb here? If we have one, of course. It's are. Are you have here downloading. This is a verb. So are is the auxiliary verb. Here, I do not. You have not. You have not, so it's sure that do is the auxiliary verb. Here, have become. You have. Here you have did you. This is a question, did. Here is used. Used main verb is helping verb or auxiliary verb. Here you had never used. Here you have had. And here we have been online. We have also. These are auxiliary verbs. All of these are auxiliary verbs with main verb, 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 auxiliary verb, main verb. Directly. Let's move on. Here, he wants a yes, no question. Remember, if you have auxiliary verb, you just put it at the beginning. If you don't have, you use what? Do, or does, or did, according to the verb. Here, for example, he found lots of good resources for his essay online. As you see here, here you don't have auxiliary verb, so you are going to use do, or does, or did. Do for the verb 1, does for verb 1 plus s, did for verb 2. He found, this is verb 2, so when you make the question, it will be, you are going to use what? Did. So it will be, did he find? Remember, when you use did, you are going to use verb 1. When you use does, you are going to use verb 1. When you use do, you are going to use verb 1. Also here the example, I am shutting the computer down now. Here you have am is the helping verb. You can say, am I shutting the computer down right now? Now? This is a correct question, but you don't ask yourself, because you are making a question, you are going to change. Instead of using am I, you are going to use are you. Because here, the difference is here, you have a question. When you answer, are you shutting? You say, yes, I am. Remember, if you have I am, it will be are you. I was, it will be were you, etc. She usually turns, here you have turns, it will be does. Does she usually turn? She had that bicycle for a long time. Here had, is it a helping verb or an auxiliary verb or main verb? Here it is main verb. You don't have another verb. So you are going to use do, does, did. Had you use, sorry, she is, sorry. Here we have, she has had that bicycle. So the auxiliary verb is has. It will be has she had the bicycle. Has she had that bicycle? He is not answering his phone. It will be is he. We are not going to use not, because this is in the answer. It will be is he answering his phone, etc. Here he has posted. It will be has she posted. We've downloaded. It will be have. We can say have we or have you downloaded. It will be both, according to the question, but it is better to say have you, like I. It will be changed. You must change it to you, and we change it usually to you. Okay. Let's continue. Here we are going to use do, have, or be. Be, it means is, are, am, was, were. Okay. Here, look at the question. Remember here that you have 2 minutes to do this exercise. 3 minutes to do this exercise, and then I'll show you the answers. Do it alone, please. I'll wait for you. Layla, you still make your own jewelry? Yes, I do. Here, this is what? Yes, I do. So, sure, it will be what? Huh? Do. Let's see. Yes, that's right. Remember, study the sentence before you put the answer. Study the sentence before you put the answer. Yes, I do. In fact, I turned my hobby into a business. Huh? I? What do you say? I? Yes. Etc. I have turned, because here you have verb 3. Really? Selling. Selling ing. So you are going to use be, but we don't say be, you say are. Huh? Are you selling instead of be? Yes, I. Akid, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Sold. Huh? Say I. I have sold. This is the. Yes. Okay. Here. Yalla, continue. Continue. Continue, please. Continue. I'll give you the answers. All the answers. Remember, this is lesson 3, huh? This is lesson 3. Okay? These are your answers. Okay? Study them. If you have a question, you can connect with me, and then I'll explain to you why is the answer, your answer is wrong and this answer is right. Huh? Okay. Remember to do pages 2 and 3 in the workbook and send it to me on my WhatsApp in order to show me that you have solved the homework. Remember that. Please send it soon. Don't be late with your homework. See you inshallah in our next lesson. Thank you for listening.